I had to
into a
go
lot.
back into intensive therapy. I was diagnosed with PTSD after I got done with the show. I did not have PTSD before I entered the show. My anxiety levels were off the charts. The last mission that I was part of on the show was a mission that was extremely traumatizing for me because it took me back to a point in my personal life, which was a day and a time period that I never wish to relive ever again. You couldn't even speak to each other once you were out of the filming area. Like, there were no intercoms in our hotel rooms.
Oh.
They had blacked out hotel room number, so you didn't even know which room number you were in, let alone somebody else in. They had wind chimes outside our room door, so if you ever open the room door when you're not supposed to, somebody will be there to tell you you're not allowed to leave your room. Yes, I did
Let's
a reality show
talk about the
recently.
traitors. How did that happen? I was really surprised to see you on the show because I didn't think that's something you would do.
End of 23, I reread Shonda Rhimes' book, The Year
Okay.
of Yes. Actually understood what she was saying and like her journey and all of that. I was like, do I need a year of yes? So when an opportunity came to be like, would you want to do a spoken word at Spoken Fest?
Yes.
Would you want to write a writing sample and consider perhaps publishing a nonfiction book because of the way you speak about grief and navigating grief is different from other people? Yes. Would you want to do a captive reality game show that's based on strategy? Yes. When BBC approached me asking if I would like to do it, they also sort of explained what the original format of the show is.
Yeah.
It is a captive reality game. It is very similar to a game that we've played perhaps with our friends, something called Mafia. It is a strategy based game, but at the end of the day, it's a game. I don't think I'm cut off to do long term reality in the sense of like, I don't think I will ever be able to or want to even enter a Big Boss house in that matter. But this was always meant to be less than 2 weeks of filming, of less than 2 weeks of being in captive reality mode.
Yeah.
It felt like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. The several conversations that I had with them, they made me feel like they are trying to make something that's very akin to what the original format is, and that felt like something that I could maybe try. That is why I said yes.
Yeah.
But that's not really what it ended up being. But it's okay. It was an experience that I'm glad I had. I don't know if I would wish that upon too many others, but yeah.
So what was that experience like for you?
It was traumatizing. It was stressful. We were filming long hours. It was not about filming long hours, it was about the content of the conversations. It was about the environment and atmosphere of the house. It was about navigating through warming up to 19 different personalities who were playing the game with me, trying to be observant but also trying to be a little bit impactful, trying to figure out who the traitor is once I knew that I was on Team Innocent. I did not even think while I was in that house that I need to play it up for the camera. I did not even think that I need to be a little bit more front footed because I'm not that as a person. I was who I am outside of the show. I was the same person inside of the show. I'm okay with having done a show that I put myself in great discomfort for, but coming out of it with myself intact. I think I would have been extremely upset had I completely changed as a person. Being in an environment where for 16 hours in a day you are constantly negative talking, because the only way to find out who the traitor is to see any lapse in judgment, changes in personality, changes in traits, changes in behaviorism. And a lot of times when you're thinking of traitor, automatically there's a negative connotation to the word. So you are definitely focusing more on the negatives of a person versus the positives of the person. Going from conversation to conversation every single day where you are just negative talking is very toxic as an environment. It's not the best environment to be in. It was hot as hell in Jaisalmer. It was like upwards of 42, 43 degrees. Wow. Some of the missions were physical tasks and physical missions. People were getting upset, people were getting hurt. Those were also grueling and difficult. The missions were also long. I know that because of the interest of time, 17 hours has to basically be watered down into becoming 1 hour of entertainment TV. A lot of what we lived through will not be on camera. A lot of the conversations will be one sided as well because there's just so much that they can possibly show in an hour. But living through those beats in that house with absolutely no communication with the outside world for the entire duration of being in that show, so literally no way to touch grass and center yourself, is extremely difficult. You couldn't even speak to each other once you were out of the filming area. Like, there were no intercoms in our hotel rooms. They had blacked out hotel room number, so you didn't even know which room number you were in, let alone somebody else in. They had wind chimes outside our room door, so if you ever open the room door when you're not supposed to, somebody will be there to tell you you're not allowed to leave your room. And like one entire day in the middle of filming was a turnaround day because we went from night filming to day filming. So for 24 hours, the crew needed rest as well, right? We were just captive in our rooms, not shooting, not doing anything. We're not allowed to leave the room. A person who is an introvert and who is already very attuned to overthinking life, you are just overthinking every single thing. So yeah, it was not really a very fostering environment to say the least, and it was a very anxiety driving environment. There's just so much of negative talk that you can handle in a day without having a release. And which is why I don't blame the people who did have moments of being extra boisterous or have an emotionally volatile day or a moment. It's unfair that a lot of it has been shown to the viewers on TV. A lot of it has nothing to do with game and perhaps could have been skipped. It's unfair on them to have had captured those vulnerabilities and shown on TV in the garb of reality when it has nothing to do with strategy. We've all had those moments where you do need an outlet. How much can you keep unto yourself? But at the end of the day, the only way for me to have survived the show was constantly reminding myself it's a game. Anything said or heard here should be left in the spirit of being a game. Nothing can be taken out of this out of context. Constantly reminding myself, don't get emotionally attached, don't get overtly emotional. Maybe me trying not to be emotionally available or attached led to me having a wall up and showcasing a certain side of my personality that perhaps is not people pleasing or camera friendly. I'm okay with that because it meant that I was still being true to myself. Would I want to put myself in this position again? I would not take the decision as easily and as lightly as I possibly did when I said yes to this. I now know what the downfall is. I now know what the mental health repercussions are.
I was going to ask you exactly that. When you came out, I'm sure it was.
I had to go back into intensive therapy. I was diagnosed with PTSD after I got done with the show. I did not have PTSD before I entered the show. My anxiety levels were off the charts. Something as simple as we didn't have our phones with us. So when you do get your phone back after 2 weeks of silence, your phone is going crazy with notifications. Having had done 2 weeks of having almost no notifications coming my way, suddenly even the smallest amount of vibrations that were happening simultaneously were causing me to just like want to throw my phone away in a different corner. But it was all anxiety that was manifesting into these small triggers. I remember came back to Bombay after filming the show and I have slept for 2 straight days.
That's how much you want to disconnect.
But that's also how exhausted I was. Forget physically, mentally. Not physically as much, but mentally. And the last mission that I was part of on the show was a mission that was extremely traumatizing for me because it took me back to a point in my personal life, which was a day and a time period that I never wish to relive ever again. Having to relive that when you're already not at your best because you've now been in that environment for X number of days, and having been constantly being told, don't trust anybody you're playing the game with, don't trust. You are anyway also trying to isolate yourself. It was not the best environment. I also wish though that more people in the game took it like a game. I know a lot of people have taken it emotionally. Maybe the house environment would have been different had we all just been playing it like a game. But I don't think that's possible because everybody comes from different walks of life. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had to deal with mental ups and downs because of being part of the show. I know I've had individual conversations with multiple of my other contestants who've had similar experiences within the house and similar journeys after getting out of the house.
And that feels like all the years of work that you've put in, it feels like
it was unraveling. It was unraveling at a pace that I was not prepared for because the show was shot last year in September. We came out of it into Diwali, so you're not only having to socialize with human beings when you're not at your best, but even from a work perspective, festive period is when you're most active, when you're most supposed to be bringing your A game because you have to just be that person out and about. And when you're internally going through a shitstorm, it sort of reminded me of as a 21-year-old when I was trying to navigate mom's death. Internally you're a mess and you're in complete turmoil and your body is just revolting against everything, but externally you just have to be calm and composed and just deal with life and not unravel in front of an audience.
I think that's the most exhausting thing as a human being that we have to do is when you're not feeling good here and here, but you show up and smile.
And that's the worst.
I really do hope that you're doing better now.
Thank you. I'm doing better now. Months and months and months and months of therapy and talking the years of my partner and my siblings has really, and even my aunt for that matter, has helped. But
I'm so glad you have that kind of support system around you that kind of gives you a year and you can really help heal.